Hi everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel focused on leadership development and improvement. Today we're going to be talking about employee engagement and strategies that you as a leader can use to help to build and strengthen employee engagement both on your teams and in your organization. The employee engagement series will be a series of three workshops or quick YouTube clips on how to strengthen and build engagement in your teams. So today is part one, and we're going to cover two different strategies that you can use effective immediately with your teams to help to strengthen employee engagement. So employee engagement at its very foundation is just the relationship between the employee and his or her leaders, workplace, and or organization. Employee engagement is the very foundation of employee satisfaction. It helps to build organizational culture and organizational sustainability. Employees have to feel connected, respected, valued, involved, and a part of the organization's culture to really get that sense of engagement and connection. It's that sense that says to an employee, I feel that I'm an important contributor to this workspace or to this workplace. I feel like I'm important and valued to my team and to my leaders. And I know that my contributions as an individual will help the organization to be stronger and sustainability over long term. That employee engagement really is what keeps employees retained. When you feel a sense of engagement and connection and collaboration with your organization, you don't want to go anywhere. You want to grow within that organization because you know your contributions are valued. And that's why employee engagement is so important. And that's why it's even more important for leaders to understand how they can use these strategies to build that engagement. It builds a stronger, more consistent, more resilient workforce. So today we're going to talk about the leader's role in building that engagement. And the first thing that you can do is ensure that your employees have a successful onboarding and training. Now, this gets overlooked all the time. It gets rushed. Sometimes we need that employee in their place right now because the last position was vacated for a long period of time and we feel that it's very important. But skipping that onboarding and subsequent training is a huge mistake. That period of onboarding is your opportunity to really set and clarify the expectations about the organization's mission, vision, and culture. It tells the employee and shows the employee how their role is going to be valued today, tomorrow, and in the future by not only you as their leader, because sometimes leaders change and departments change, but by the organization as a whole. It shows how they're going to contribute to the workspace as an individual contributor. It tells them what the expectation is in terms of company policies and practices and procedures and systems, and it's integral to every employee feeling engaged from the very first day. When you have an unsuccessful onboarding, the employee at that point is saying to themselves, I'm not even sure I really understand the company that I've come on for. I'll stay for a little bit until I find something else. You want those new employees to walk out of that onboarding saying, I made the right choice. I'm in the right place. I can see a future for myself growing through the ranks. I can see how my role as an individual contributor is going to help the company and my team be successful and thrive in the future. And that's what we want. And then the training just goes to further support what they learned in the onboarding. It's that consistency that's developed through subsequent training from the initial onboarding that creates a sense of security and trust and belief and engagement in the organization and in the leaders that help the organization thrive and grow. So the first strategy is ensuring that your employees, your new employees, are having a successful onboarding and training. Now, what happens if you inherit employees from a different department or there's been some leadership shakeup and you're inheriting a new team and you're not quite sure what their onboarding was like? You can always do kind of a recap onboarding. You can always start again where you say, let's kind of reset and let's go over again what the mission and the vision and the culture of this organization is all about. Sometimes people need to hear it in a different way and make sure that there's a consistent, stable understanding of what the expectations and policies are. And that offers you an amazing opportunity for a reset. So if you're feeling like there is a disconnect or some misinformation there that's happening because, people's onboarding happens with different leaders. Sometimes it's not the supervisor that's doing an onboarding, but it's someone who it was assigned to. So give yourself the opportunity to do kind of a recap of the onboarding. It provides you a fresh opportunity to kind of reinstill those missions and vision and help you to reestablish what the culture is all about in your organization. The second strategy, and this one is tougher than the first strategy, but a leader has to be transparent and honest. Leaders must be open and honest to establish and strengthen trust from their employees. Leaders who are winging it because they're afraid of coming off as not having all of the answers are leaders that are not successful. You can only sustain that kind of state for so long before the cracks start to show, right? So transparent leaders instill a sense of trust, a sense of humility, a sense of accessibility, and a sense of information to their employees. And that's what employees value. Employees value a leader that's not afraid and that's brave enough to say, that's a really good question. I don't know that answer, but I'll find out. I'll get the resources and tools to support the answer, and I'll get back to you. And then here's the trick. The leader actually gets back to the employee in the time that they said they were going to get back to the employee and provides them with the answer, resources, tools, and support for that answer. Sometimes the brave leader will say, I'm not sure. How can we look at that differently? Or what do you think that is? Or will assign the employee the opportunity and the task of helping to uncover the answer themselves. And then the bigger task and the bigger skill is then to have that employee help you to identify how we can then implement that particular answer into the workplace. So the successful leader in their authenticity and honesty and transparency says, let's work together. Let's work together to figure this out. Let's work together to kind of find out how we can then implement it in the team. And let's work together to give the credit where the credit is due. That's a leader that's a team player, and that's the leader that wants to bring their team up so that they can surround themselves with successful people. Authentic, honest, and transparent. So those are all things that you could implement immediately. That was our first series and our first clip on employee engagement. I hope you will join me next week for part 2 of employee engagement, where I'll share more strategies and tips and hints on what you can do and what your role is as a leader to help build employee engagement and ensure organizational culture and organizational sustainability. I look forward to seeing you next week, and you can always join me on engageandlead.com. Take care.